Sometimes, the strongest warriors aren't found on battlefields. They're found in small kitchens, holding a crying baby, with empty pockets but hearts full of love. This is the story of a mother whose quiet sacrifice gave birth to a hero the world would one day remember. In a small, wind-swept town on the edge of northern England, there lived a woman named Clara Evans. She was 38, worked 2 cleaning jobs, and lived in a modest brick house that always smelled of soap and freshly baked bread. Her husband had passed away when their son Ethan was just 5. Since then, Clara became both mother and father, protector and provider, all in one. Every morning, before the sun even peeked through the clouds, Clara would tie her faded blue scarf, put on her old coat, and head out into the cold streets. By the time Ethan woke up, she was already cleaning the bakery down the road. Ethan never saw his mother rest, but he always saw her smile. To the neighbors, Clara was that quiet woman with tired eyes, but to Ethan, she was everything. Ethan was a bright kid. He loved to draw. He could spend hours sketching faces, old buildings, and scenes from their town. His teachers often said, "He's got something rare. Maybe he'll be an artist someday." Clara would smile whenever she heard that, but deep down, she worried. Art school cost money, more than she could ever imagine. One evening, Ethan ran home holding a letter. His face glowed with excitement. "Mom, I got selected for the City Art Academy. They said they've never seen drawings like mine." Clara froze. The letter in her trembling hands felt both like a dream and a storm. Tuition fees, living expenses, supplies. How could she afford all that? That night, after Ethan went to bed, Clara sat by the small window. The town was quiet. The only sound was the soft ticking of the old clock on the wall. She whispered softly, "Dear God, I don't know how, but please help me give him the chance he deserves." Over the next few weeks, Clara made a decision, one that would quietly change both their lives. She sold almost everything she could. Her wedding ring, her old bicycle, even the radio that Ethan loved listening to every night. And then she found an extra cleaning shift at a factory 2 towns away. It meant walking miles every morning and coming home long after midnight. Her hands cracked from cold water and harsh soap. Her back ached from bending for hours. But whenever she looked at Ethan's drawings, she smiled, because every brush stroke, every pencil line, was proof that her sacrifice had meaning. Ethan never complained about her long hours. He thought she was just busy. He didn't know she skipped meals so he could eat properly. He didn't know that her shoes had holes because she saved every coin for his art supplies. And he definitely didn't know that her mother often cried quietly at night, when no one could see. The day finally came when Ethan had to leave for the city. It was a small art academy in London, his dream come true. Clara woke up earlier than usual that morning. She made his favorite breakfast, eggs, toast, and jam. Her hands shook as she packed his old suitcase. At the train station, Ethan hugged her tightly. "I'll make you proud, Mum. I promise." Clara smiled, holding back tears. "You already have, my boy. You already have." As the train pulled away, she waved until it disappeared behind the fog. And then for the first time in years, she let herself cry, not out of pain, but of hope. She had nothing left, but her son had everything he needed to chase his dream. Time passed. The little house grew quieter, but it stayed warm with memories. Clara's hair turned gray, her steps slower, but she never stopped writing letters to Ethan, letters filled with love, encouragement, and faith. And then, one morning, the postman delivered something unexpected. A thick envelope with a golden seal. It read, "To Mrs. Clara Evans, Guest of Honor." Confused, she opened it. Inside was an invitation to the London International Art Exhibition. Ethan's name was printed at the top as the featured artist. Her hands trembled as tears filled her eyes. A week later, Clara found herself standing in a grand hall in London. The walls were covered with paintings, colors, lights, emotions. And there, right in the center, was a massive canvas. It showed a woman standing alone in a dimly lit kitchen, her hands rough, her eyes tired, but her heart glowing with light. The title read, "The Hands That Built My Tomorrow." Ethan appeared beside her, now taller, confident, and dressed in a black suit. "Mum, this painting, it's you. Every stroke, every color is because of what you gave me." Clara couldn't speak. She just looked at him, eyes shining, and whispered, "You made it, Ethan. You really did." He shook his head. "No, Mom, we made it." And as the applause filled the room, Clara realized her life's quiet sacrifices had built something far greater than comfort or wealth. They had built a legacy. Sometimes heroes don't wear capes or stand on stages. Sometimes they stand behind those who do, unseen, unheard, but deeply loved. Clara's story reminds us, true success isn't just about what we achieve, but about who stood beside us, believing in us when no one else did. So if you have someone in your life who sacrificed their dreams for yours, a parent, a teacher, a friend, don't wait for someday to thank them. Do it now, because their love is the foundation of your tomorrow. Like, share, and subscribe if this story touched your heart. And remember, behind every hero, there's someone who quietly made them one.